sleeping, burping, changing.
Good morning.
I make sure that I try and lather them. 2 rules. Sometimes he kind of actually puts himself to sleep. It's repetitive or monotonous or boring. Bit of a rub down. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and it's actually a huge welcome back because I have not been on here for quite some time now. I was too busy having babies, and on the subject of babies, I have a newborn, an 8-week-old little baby Isaac. I wish I could show you him right now, but Daddy has kindly taken him and the others out for a walk so that I can have some peace and quiet. I don't know if you can hear, but there's literally no noise in my house right now. It's so peaceful. Now this video is all about a newborn routine, or a day in the life of a newborn. So I will be taking you through everything that Isaac does, from feeding, sleeping, burping, changing, awake time, everything that we do together. Now my guess, if you are watching this video, then you are either expecting a baby, you have a newborn, or you simply like to watch videos of cute babies. So either way, I want to make sure that you walk away from this video with a few tips and hints, or simply just an idea of how in our house we do the newborn routine.
Good morning.
So it's 6:30 in the morning and Isaac has just woken up. So the first thing I do is I take him downstairs and we start his feed. Now you can see that the other two are around today because it's a Saturday, which it means we don't have the rush of going to school. So we're just taking it slow. The kids are keeping me busy whilst I am feeding Isaac. So Isaac has reflux, which means I keep him up as long as possible after a feed, at least 10 to 15 minutes before I lay him down. Now what you can see here is something I've done with all my kids, and I call it like a wipe down in the morning. I feel like when they're sleeping, not only do they get milk in lots of their creases in their neck, so a wipe down is basically just a flannel, some warm water, and it's a chance to put some moisturizer on them. My kids have all had eczema or dry skin, so at least twice a day I make sure that I try and lather them with as much cream as possible. And then before you know it, it's time for his first nap. I feel like this part of the morning passes super quickly. So by the time I've fed and I've given him his wipe down, it's already time for sleep. Now, if you remember, he woke up at 6:30 this morning, so I only ever let him stay up for an hour to an hour and a half. So this is perfect time to be going down for his first nap. And because he's quite tired at that time in the morning, it gives me a little bit of a chance to potter around the room, make my bed, and sometimes he kind of actually puts himself to sleep at this point. So I utilize this time to express, to have a cup of tea, and to catch up on my phone, because as you can see, before you know it, he's awake again. This is the shortest nap of the day for us, which I have learned to accept. It's about 30 to 45 minutes at most. So after his feed, I would change him. I'm changing him in my bathroom today because I would like to have a shower, keep an eye on him at the same time, and just make sure the other two are not cuddling him too much. And then we squeeze in a little bit of tummy time. I'm really trying to work on his neck muscles. He's 8 weeks old just now, so I want him to get a little bit stronger before he's ready for a nap again. So this is his second nap of the day. So if you remember at the start, I promised I wasn't going to make this repetitive or monotonous or boring. So to make sure that this video remains fun and upbeat, I'm going to give you a summary of what our day looks like. So almost like a master plan or a routine. And we're going to basically talk as though Isaac has woken up at 7 in the morning. Now there are 2 rules that I adhere to, and I have done with all of my kids. So the first one is all about watching his wake windows. I basically time as soon as Isaac has woken up, say he wakes up at 7 o'clock, I know that I have between 60 to 90 minutes, so that's an hour to an hour and a half of awake time. After that, he has to go to sleep for his nap. So what that means is I have an hour to feed him, change him, and sneak in something else, like maybe a bit of tummy time, or maybe it's when I give him his probiotics, or we just have cuddle time. The second one is feeding time. So at this age, I believe in getting as many calories and as much milk in them throughout the day so that at night time they don't wake me up as often. So what that means is that I would time the start of one feed until the start of the next, and I would never leave any longer than 2.5 to 3 hours. When Isaac woke up at 7, I fed him at 7. So I would have to feed him again at 9:30/10 and no later. Even if he's napping at that time, I would actually wake him up and I would feed him. So the 2 golden rules that you will see throughout this video that I basically do on repeat, but for all of our type A's out there, you will love this master plan or routine so that it gives you a bit of a guide or framework, is that the minute they wake up, I time their awake windows or their awake time. It should no longer be than an hour to an hour and a half, 60 to 90 minutes. And then the second rule is that when I have fed them, I count from the start of that feed until the start of the next feed as 2.5 to 3 hours, and I would never cross that time. And when it comes to his awake windows, we really just try and entertain him. I mean, I feel like at this age, Isaac doesn't really want for much other than some smiley faces, talking to him. He's just really happy to be around us, especially with his older brother and sister. Nap time was a topic that used to give me the absolute fear when I was a first-time mum. I remember so desperately just trying to get Jacob at the time to nap. However, now I feel like after having 3, I'm a little bit more relaxed in my approach. So I basically aim for 1 to 2 naps a day for Isaac to have those in his bed. So the bed that he sleeps in during the night, I want him to get used to it so he has 1 or 2 naps in there. The rest of the naps can be a little bit more relaxed. So for example, here you can see I'm putting him in the pushchair because either we've been to the park or I'm in the kitchen and I want to have him near me. Sometimes I will have to be watching my other 2 children, so baby waiting is another option, and I feel like it works for us. Now, if you're enjoying this video, please give it a big thumbs up. It makes a huge difference to me. And I would also love to have you as part of my community. So all you need to do is subscribe. It just means you get to see some more content, all related to children, routines, babies, and all things motherhood. It's now bath time, which is secretly my favorite time of the day because I get one-to-one time with Isaac with no disruptions. As you can see, he actually does enjoy his bath, especially after we figured out putting a flannel on him. Keeps his chest warm, so he is happy. And then we follow up with a baby massage. So a friend of mine advised me to do this, especially because he's colicky, so it means he gets a little bit of a rub down. It's really nice and therapeutic. I use coconut oil, organic coconut oil, and I actually put spa music on, which some of my friends think is hilarious, but I feel like it relaxes everyone. And then we are at the final feed of the day. So this is where I'm in our room where Isaac is sleeping. I make sure it's a really relaxed environment. The lights aren't too bright. We've got white noise in the background. I do sing to him at this time. I cuddle him a little bit extra. I feel like when you prepare them doing the same routine over and over again, they will get used to the fact that this is bedtime. So his brain tells him that it's sleepy time now. I put him down in his cot, give him an extra bit of a rock, and then off he goes to sleep. So it's now 10:30 p.m, which is our dream feed time. So I don't want him to fully wake up, but at the same time, you know what it's like when they're in the newborn stage and they're a little bit drowsy. So then he tends to fall asleep halfway through it, and I want to give him a good feed to try and get him to last as long as possible through the night. Then I do the usual. I would burp him, hold him upright for 15 minutes, and then I pop him in his cot. Now he's actually asleep, so this part is super easy, the dream feed, and I try and go to sleep at the same time as him. And then moving on to the subject of through the night partying with Isaac, we start our first feed at 1:30 a.m. So this would typically happen between 1 and 2. I would simply feed him, so he would wake me up, I would feed him, I would check his nappy, I don't ever change unless it's a poop, and then I quickly put him back down before he's woken up again at 4 a.m. I'm actually not complaining at all because he's 8 weeks old and he wakes up twice through the night. At this point though, he had done a poop, so I changed him, but luckily he went down pretty swiftly, which meant I got another couple of hours before morning. Rise and shine. It is 6:50 in the morning and we are ready to do the whole thing all over again. But before we do anything, I am desperate at this point for a cup of tea because even though he only woke up twice, it is still exhausting. That brings me to the end of today's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any comments, any tips, any hints, or anything related to the newborn routine, then pop it in the comments box below. I am sure everyone else on here, as well as myself, would love to hear them. I can hear them through the door right now, so I'm gonna run and do the motherhood thing, but I will see you in my next video. Bye!